Hey, everybody. Today I am here with Keira Crooms. And if you've known me for any amount of time, you also know Keira. She and I started out working together with Sparks 360, and she has supported me in so many ways. And it then grew beyond that. We became business friends because she's got her own business too. So we became business friends and colleagues, and we really rely on each other a lot as we build our businesses. So, in this podcast, you're going to hear from Keira a lot. She's going to be on here with me. We're going to be talking to other people. And I just wanted you to have a quick introduction. So, Keira, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. What a fun podcast to be on.
I'm excited to kick this off with you.
Me too.
So, one of the things we got to do recently as business friends was go to the Sell Well conference in Houston that was hosted by Catherine Brown. And it was I tell you what, she has convinced me finally that building a referral network is a really good thing. And as a natural introvert, I don't really want to walk into a room full of strangers.
Me neither.
But somehow it felt different. So what did you think when you walked in the
It
room?
did. It did feel different. And I have actually gone to another conference at Catherine's and I walked in very shy as an introvert as well. I walked in very shy and I was a little bit reluctant. I didn't introduce myself to people the way that I should have. And this time I went in a little bit more confident, knowing the room a bit more, and obviously with you by my side. And so, in talking to people, I really learned the importance of building those relationships. It it was a great experience. And I do agree, building that referral network. My business is 100% referral based anyway. So I know the power of a referral, but I think stepping into that room and feeling the energy and all of us wanting to help each other, I think that was huge.
And I think you just said help each other. And I think that's the difference is
Yes.
you're not there, trying to identify competitors and beat them out. And
Yes.
every single person there came with the expectation that we would help each other.
Yes.
And the biggest way we can do that is by really teaching each other what we do and how to send referrals. And we can't do that without a really great introduction. So
That's right.
that's our discussion today, is to figure out how the heck to introduce ourselves so that it starts a conversation and somebody remembers what we do and sends our ideal clients our way.
Yeah, and we actually got the opportunity to do an exercise with Bill Gannon while we were at Well that where we learned how to introduce ourselves. And he talked a lot about the do's and the don'ts. And so today we're going to talk about that. And I'm super excited because for me as an introvert, this was rough. This was incredibly hard for me to go to somebody and have that conversation. But then when Bill was like, okay, everybody stand up and grab your phone and then having each other record, us do those intros, it was really eye-opening, especially just to see myself on that camera and how I was presenting myself.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh, this is what I need to work on. And it taught me a lot. So hopefully, if you are at home and you are listening right now, you will grab your phone and you'll record yourself doing your introduction. It may not be the same because you're not saying it to another person, but grab your phone and record yourself doing it as if you were in front of another person because you may learn a lot.
Yeah. And for those of you who haven't met him, Bill Gannon was an amazing MC. He did
He
such a good
was.
job.
Yeah.
And he's also a speaker, so y'all can look him up. But he, in that exercise, he also made us find somebody we did not know, which was what added that extra element of angst. But yeah, we recorded each other, and you get a chance to really see yourself in the wild, doing the thing. I think it's really hard to figure out how to
Hmm.
structure that introduction, though. I think it's important to figure out how to do it so that well, like I said, that you're memorable, but also that it's smooth for you and that you quickly cover kind of who you are, what you do, and how you make people's lives better.
It is, and it takes practice. We're always learning and growing on that. But I do think it is important that it's quick and that it's smooth and that when you step in, you are confident about it.
Yeah, I'm going to post a couple of those frameworks in the show notes so people can download it. But there's two or three things that I think have been super helpful. So in the past, I was a story brand guide. I did not renew, so I'm not a current guide, but I learned to use a structure called the one-liner. And
Mhm.
which is ironic because it's not actually a one-liner, it's more like three sentences, but there you go. When you use the one-liner, it's the thing that you can use in casual situations a whole lot more easily. So maybe we'll start with that one. And I'll get you to tell us about the one that you use for your business. And let's just assume that we're at an event like that, or we're in a social setting, and somebody walks up and says, "What do you do?" What do you tell them?
So first, let me say I do wear a lot of hats and not in the way of like operations. However, I do a lot of things within my business. And so I do want to be clear that this is just one aspect of Kira's Modern Desk and what we do there. So, my one liner when I meet people, if I'm in a situation where I think operations is what they may need, is do you ever feel like you're wearing too many hats? I help business owners streamline their operations and implement efficient systems, allowing them to focus on what they do best while I take care of the behind the scenes work.
Yeah. And see how that starts a conversation.
Yes.
And the thing that doesn't feel natural for most people when they use that one-liner structure is that you're not directly answering the question. You didn't say, "What do you do?" And you said, "I'm an online business manager," or you didn't fill it in with the title. You started with, the problem and then followed it up with your solution and the outcome. And so that's the structure for that one. For me, I've been playing with Catherine Brown's recommended value prop, and it's a little bit longer. In this case, I might be using it more like in an email introduction, something written because it is a little bit longer. But I like the structure because it gives you more information to share that you might need. The other quick thing I want to point out that Keira just said, this is what she uses in one particular instance. We're going to have multiple versions of our value props or one-liners, and it's great just to customize those for your audience. In her book, How Good Humans Sell, it's on page 108 if you happen to have the book. Catherine lays out a structure for the value proposition. And I won't go through the whole thing here. I've got the download for you. But here's what it might be like for Sparks 360 Publishing. Even the most successful business leaders can run into a creative wall when it's time to write a book or create engaging content around their products and services. They need a way to make sure they consistently stand out from the competition and communicate their brand's value. Sparks 360 Publishing has a proven process for ghostwriting and creating subscription-based monthly content. When your LinkedIn posts, blogs, and articles create engagement with your readers, you immediately elevate your brand and increase revenue.
I'm buying.
Well, and what's funny is I've sort of combined some of those things and started thinking about what I'm calling a signature introduction. So it's
Yes.
like, how do you kind of combine those two ideas and turn it into a
Into
signature
one.
intro? Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of did the same thing too because what I did is I sat down and I wrote a letter to myself about
Hmm.
what I do in business and what who I want to help. And then I went through and I underlined the most important parts. What was I saying about what I do? And then I kind of put them together, finagled them into this value prop. So this one was a lot easier for me because it came from a place of actual purpose that I want to help business owners. So doing that, writing that letter was a really interesting way for me to come up with this.
I love
Yeah.
that. You hadn't told me that before. I
Yeah.
really like that.
I should do it for other things too, but
Well, that's such a good way to get started because some people, just stare at the blank screen and
yes.
they freeze. But if you're just writing a letter to yourself, then it's a whole lot easier to let the words flow.
It was, and it wasn't like I was sitting there having to go, what is it that I do? It was actually, it came from me and it was very emotional because I was excited about what I was doing, but I was also in that unknown of, okay, we're going to grow this business. And so it was a very emotional experience doing that exercise.
Wow, thanks for
Oh,
sharing that.
yeah, absolutely.
When I think about what's different for me from those two frameworks, and I think about what it is that creates a signature introduction, I think I have started leaning into kind of that aspirational identity to start
Hmm.
with. So a lot of people say start with the problem, and you can, but what if you started with that aspirational identity? Have
Yeah,
you always wanted to write a book? And I think maybe that doesn't work for everything, but it certainly works for me.
it
And
does. And I think
again,
leading with the positive,
yeah, and
and
you have to get used to answering a question with a question. So if somebody
yes.
says, "What do you do?" and you go, "Hey, are you one of those people that has always wanted to write a book?" It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and I do think it can be awkward. Like if you walk up, if somebody says, "What do you do?" Well, you say, "I'm a publisher," or I say, "I'm an online business manager." Well, okay. Well, that tells them nothing. It absolutely says nothing. What do you publish? How do you solve a problem? Just saying it says nothing about who we are and what we do.
And the important point there is that it doesn't start a conversation.
It's right. It doesn't.
It
It's
doesn't make
awkward.
you
It's so
memorable.
awkward. It's like they're looking at you like, okay, tell me more. What does that mean?
Yeah. So I'll add a note about the signature introduction too,
Yes.
to that sheet that people can download and start to play with and make their
Oh,
own.
exciting. I love
Yeah,
that. That's exciting. Good.
that'll be fun.
I think so
All
too.
right. Well, we're looking forward to doing this a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I I really enjoy these conversations. Elaine and I have I mean, we talk weekly anyway, almost every day. So, but we have a lot of conversations and I think from those conversations we realize that there's a lot of value that comes out of it and we wanted to offer that to you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think for both of us, it's really about the action item. Yeah,
It
there's a lot
is.
of theory out there, but if you can take one little nugget and go put it to work right now,
Yeah.
then what a win.
Yeah. 100%. I think we got a lot of action items packed into this few minutes. So,
We do. All
yep.
right. So I'm looking forward to next week. We're going to do this again. And until then, everybody go work on your signature introduction and then send it to us. I want to see, I want to hear, I want to see what
Yes.
you do.
Wonderful.